Hello, Anna Arujo here. I'm going to show you how to make a pleated face mask. The last video we made a fitted face mask, and then today it's a pleated face mask. I did a lot of research to come up with this pattern for you, and what's even more special, this one has a pocket that you can put a filter in. So let's get started. Supplies you will need is a rotary cutter and a cutting ruler. That's optional. Or you can use a pair of scissors. You're going to need hair rubber bands, a bowl of pins, some thread, and Sharpie is also optional. For the fabric, you're going to use muslin for the lining, either white muslin or regular muslin, and then flannel or cotton for the outside. You do not need a paper pattern, but I went ahead and drew one out for you just so you could see the dimensions. For a min, you're going to do 7 inches by 10. Cut one lining and cut one top fabric. For the woman's, 7 by 9. Cut one top, one lining. And then you need to cut 2 pieces, 2.5 by 4 inch. And that's all you need for this pattern. I'm going to show you how to cut with the rotary cutter. However, you can use a pair of scissors and a ruler and just draw it out. So you're going to cut a piece that's 7 inches wide this way. You're just going to press down. My little rotary cutter needs a new blade, so I go twice. Aha, and there you go. There's our 7-inch piece. Now you could get multiples out of this because our next cut is going to be 9 inches. So here again, lining it up along the edge, using my ruler, and I'm going to cut. You'll do the same thing with your top fabric, what I just did. And here again, you can use scissors if you don't have a rotary cutter. Here's the visual for you. Lining, top fabric, 2 side pieces. We're making a woman's today. Our next step, the iron. We're going to get started with our little side pieces first. Just so you don't burn yourself, I went ahead and pinned a 1/4 inch. It's a little bit easier. Then you're just going to fold that over. You can take the pin out now and press again. You get the idea. So you're going to do that to both pieces, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the other 2 pieces, because we're putting a pocket in this. So what we're going to do is fold this down about 1/2 inch. Press. Fold another 1/2 inch over. Press. We're going to do the same thing. That was the lining. We're going to do the same thing on the top fabric. 1/2 inch. So we can put our pocket in. Yeah, there we go. And one more. Here again, you could pin it if you want to. I guess maybe I'm just more daring. Maybe you don't want to burn yourself. Okay, so that's what we have to do for our pressing for right now. Now to the sewing machine. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to zigzag those 2 1/2 inches that we ironed over. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other. That was the lining. This is the top fabric. Now, I want you to pin the front and the front of this together. Okay, I'm just going to put a couple pins in to hold it in place. And we're going to stitch, not top stitch, we're going to stitch, but a 1/4 inch this time. Press our foot down. Oops, got to change it over. There we go. Little back stitch. Super easy. Now I'm going to go press it, but you don't need to see that part. So we're back. I pressed it. Pressed the lining and then folded it over and then pressed it again. I know pressing's a pain, but it's really worth it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the pleats. If you've seen a lot of these, of course, this is the pleated one we're doing. So pleating is not difficult. It could just be a little tricky and cumbersome at first. Ugh, I hate all those extra threads. So you're just going to tuck it like that. See, look, it's about a ½ an inch. Going to tuck it, and then you're going to pin it in place. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do it again because it's tricky. You're going to tuck it, so just like that. See, ½ an inch, give or take. So this is not rocket science, it's just basic. You're going to tuck one more time, about another ½ inch. There we go. And pin it in place. I'm going to go ahead and pin the other side. So I'm starting to pin the other side. I just want to show you a little trick. You kind of got to give it a little tug like that. So to get my next fold, I'm just going to kind of tug it. Little snap there. Oops. You see? And that just helps it line up straight across. I'll do one more little tug. So this is my last one. And you also want to make sure your folds are all going the same direction. So don't have some of them going up one way because then you're going to have to rip the whole thing out and do it over. So see, there we go. Okay. So one more pin. And then to the sewing machine. Now I'm just going to base these in place so they don't, I don't have to fight the pins. Or you can use your regular stitch. It doesn't matter. Go. Just look how nice those little pleats are. And we're going to come back over on this side. Here again, just sew right over the pleats, pulling the pins out as you go. There we go. So our next step is to take this little 2½ inch piece, and I'm going to put front to front, right, just like that. I'm going to just hold those folds in place, and I'm going to pin, and I'm going to pin. So I'm going to go to the sewing machine and sew it. I already did the other side. I'm going to go, but this is a ½ inch right here. Okay, not a quarter. We've been doing a 1/4 inch, but this is a ½ inch. Same thing on the other side, ½ inch. Back to the iron. So what I did is I just pressed this out on both ends, pressed them flat, and then I folded over a ½ inch, and I pressed that too. Now, if you watched my other video, you saw how I put in that whole little rubber band thing, so I'm going to show you again. I'm just going to fold this over like that. I'm going to take my hair rubber band. I'm going to put it right at the top like that. And then I'm going to put a pin in to hold it in place. Making sure I'm bringing my edge of my fold right to the edge of that stitching right there. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it over. I'll do the same thing. There's my little ½ inch. I'm going to put my hair rubber band right on top, and I'm going to fold it over and put another pin in place. Now I'm going to zigzag this part right here along on zigzag this on the sewing machine. Set my machine for zigzag, just a second there. There we go. And now I'm going to zigzag. There we go. Get it started. My poor old machine, I don't think it likes the extra layers. Okay. There we go. go. Do a little back stitch. You want to make sure that stays nice and secure. And we're going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Pull that little rubber band back. Put the fabric under your foot. Bring your needle down. Pull the pin out. There's nothing worse than hitting the pin while you're sewing. A little zigzag, get it going there. You see how I'm lining it right up against the stitch line. Here again, another little back stitch. Yes. And we're done. That was it. So there's our face mask. So before we finish up today, I'm going to talk to you about the pocket and the filter. Let's talk about filters. So we have this really nice pocket that we put in our face mask for a filter. There's a lot of different things on the internet about filters. You can use cut up t-shirts and use them for the filter. There's a whole lot of things. But what I did is I found this dried up package of Neutrogena face wipes. I cut it, and I'm going to put it inside. If you have some baby wipes, you can do the same thing and let them dry out. If you're doing these for the nurses or any health workers, don't worry about giving them filters. They've got their own method of doing things. Put the filter in, and voila. Filter needs to be thrown away before you wash it and put a new filter in. I hope that was some help for you today. So let's give this a try. All right, let's get the movement going.